WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 7 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. It's a nice morning, a little bit cool out there, and nobody's complaining really about the weather, not today anyway. You might want to go golfing, and that's what this next segment is all about. Jim Beckett is in the studio to answer your questions about golf. The number is 622-9622. That is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. The show is called Let's Talk Golf. The hosts are officially Jim Beckett and Darren Irwin, who is in the studio for the first time in a long time. Jim is the founder of the Golf College, and Darren is the director of operations at the Links of Spruce Creek South. Good morning, gentlemen. How you both doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to see
We're
you.
good now that we're here, not answering the phone where we work.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's so much nicer to have you in the studio.
Yes, we like being here, especially. We're looking into a inexpensive helicopter, so it's a long way to get here in traffic in the wintertime.
Maybe we had a trauma center here. You could just claim trauma, and they'll just bring you here to get
that's
treatment.
even a better idea.
Yeah.
Got to be innovative, you know.
There was something in the news that would affect both of you, and I can't imagine this ever happening. But let me I won't read it here. I just want to get the name straight. There's a group called, Hack Golf. Have you heard of this group?
Hack Golf?
Hack Golf is backed by the TaylorMade Adidas Golf Company, something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. I know them.
And they are trying to attract more people to the golf course, so they're recommending 12 holes instead of 18. They're recommending, what is this now? 15-inch holes.
I saw that.
You saw that, 15-inch holes.
I saw that.
Now,
Looks like a garbage can out
I
there.
could hit a 15-inch hole.
Of course.
So that would ruin the game, wouldn't it? And not to mention the golf course.
It would be an interesting thing, but it really and truly wouldn't be golf, and I'm not sure it would attract golfers. It might attract some additional traffic.
So is that even necessary? I mean, doesn't the game already attract enough people?
Well, it's in Florida, and especially in the wintertime, we have an ample amount of golfers. Some of them can't even get a tee time. So
the group that I just referred to, Hack Golf, whatever they're called, they are maybe speaking for the other 49 states or 48?
Well, I'm sure there's areas that are not getting the traffic they want. We keep up with the golf courses. Darren would know more about that than me, but our area, that wouldn't do anything, but I'm sure there are areas that they could attract a significant number of people to participate under those conditions.
Now, when I read the part about the proposal to have 12-hole golf courses, I thought, and the whole idea was to make the game shorter. People don't want such a long game. I thought, well, why couldn't you just agree among yourselves? We'll just go 12 holes and we'll be done.
Well, Darren has solved this problem a lot more efficient.
Okay.
We now have a number of programs that are 9 holes, and they're all flourishing. So we solved the whole issue for those people that want that, and without having to change the golf course and not having to.
But it's the same golf course, right?
It's the same golf course. You just play 9 holes.
You're just done at the 9th hole, that's all.
Yeah, we have some 9-hole events, and
Makes
we're getting
sense.
ready to start another one that we want you and Robin to get involved in.
What, is a tournament?
And it's with me.
Did you say it's a tournament or just a game?
It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game, even with your tournament. A little more fun because we're just going to go out there and you're going to get to play with one of the pros.
Right.
And you're out in a nice time of the day, less traffic.
I'm usually here on the nice time of the day.
Well, I can understand that. You're a workaholic. You have an important job.
No, I don't. I don't think so. So, Darren, how are you doing?
I'm doing real well.
Are you
How
cold?
about-
You got a big coat on.
I am. Ever since I moved down here 10, 12 years ago, I'm such a baby when the temperature's under 80 degrees. I really am.
Well, where did you move from? Hawaii?
I'm originally from Indiana. And I know it doesn't make any sense because it gets so cold up there, but there's just something about when it gets cool here, it just goes right through your bones.
And I had my jacket on. I didn't bring it in.
It's from Indiana. So has the water tables have gone up, and that's what it looks like for me from an amateur perspective. I see the lakes that were dry now we see more water in them. Is that affecting the golf course at all?
Well, I'll tell you, we definitely had a much wetter winter than is typical, and probably in the 12 years I've been down here, probably the wettest that I can recall. But trends, weather seems to come in patterns, and if you look at the seasonal outlook for late spring and summer, they're actually calling for very hot weather and very dry weather.
So
in a below normal hurricane season. So my guess is all of the whatever we made up during the winter, we're going to fall back behind again shortly.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So do you get that a lot from the players, that they have comments or maybe even complaints about the golf course itself?
Well, see, we're in a very unique situation where we're at, and quite frankly, it gives us the upper hand, especially during drier times. We don't actually rely on stormwater on our golf course. We don't actually have access to stormwater or reclaimed water. We have a permit through the state which allows us to draw quite frankly, more water than we need directly from the aquifer.
Oh, really?
Because of our location, we just don't have the ability to receive storm water or reclaim water. So the state set us up with a really good program where we could draw right from the aquifer. So when it is dry, we're able to maintain pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Makes a big difference on how green it is.
And a green playing surface is a good playing surface?
Golfers are very cognizant of the condition of the course, regardless of how they play, and rightly so. The nicer the course, be like a road that's well maintained or one that has a few little cracks and potholes in it when you're driving a car. Same exact.
But is it better for the game, or is it just aesthetically? They're just like, oh, it's pretty. I like it to be pretty.
It's prettier. It'll make your outing be more conducive to a good round. You'll get a better lie, so you might not miss as many shots. I mean, it falls into a lot of areas, and all of them are positive.
So, what is new at the Spruce Creek South at the golf college? What's coming up?
Well, I'm going to tell you just quickly about the golf college. We are ready to launch this probably May 1st. Still have a few pieces of equipment in. We're going to start running something that I would like to, and we're going to make an effort to market up here. We're going to start running a 5-day golf school. So you have 2 classes per morning, but you can come and take just one. You can take 1, 2, 5, 6, all 10 of them. So it's a smorgasbord golf school. You will be part-time in the simulator indoors, so if we have inclement weather, it gets too hot, we got a place to go with air conditioning. And the golf course on the simulators are perfect. There's no divots, there's no...
Yeah, right.
It's perfect. So, and of course, we have a great practice area with 3 practice greens, 2 sand bunkers, and 2 driving ranges, and a full par 4 hole. So we have something extremely unique, so we can replicate or use one part of all that facility to address any kind of a problem or condition that a golfer would like to address. So that's going to start May 1st. We were just talking about it on the way up. And so you can partake of it at whatever level you want to, but it will be a 10-class session, 2 a day, 5 days a week.
If I pick up, I always compare what you do to music, because I do music. So if I pick up a new instrument, even if it's like a guitar I play, an accordion I play, so if I pick a new one, it still feels like I've got a learning curve. This is, and the same thing with a new song. A new song, if I haven't played it, it still takes me a while to get used to it. So is the same thing true with new equipment with golf, or even the golf course itself? If you play a golf course, will you be better at it the second time you play it?
Well, obviously, the term they use is course knowledge. Okay. You get an idea that some greens might be elevated, some greens might be a little bit faster, the grass might be slightly thicker but just the nuances of the golf course. They're not all straight fairways, of course. So our golf course is very unique. Both nines are a little bit different, so you get a lot of flavor. And our golf course is very user-friendly, meaning you don't have to be an expert when you played it to play the golf course. There are some golf courses where a whole segment of golfers are not going to play well just because they don't strike the ball good enough. Our golf course is challenging enough for a good golfer or a strong golfer, and yet playable for an inexperienced golfer, which you experienced. So we have a very unique golf course. It's player friendly, I guess would be a good word we use, and we hear that frequently from the people who come and play our course. They like to play it again, and of course that's what we're after. Any business is looking for repeat traffic. So Darren's done a great job with. We now have you have to come down and have lunch someday. Hi there.
I know, if you have some fans, I'll say.
Yeah.
The phone number to call in on is 622-WOCA if you'd like to speak to Darren or Jim and speak about golf or golf courses or the golf college or Spruce Creek specifically.
Darren has some interesting things to share today as well.
And what are they?
Absolutely. We have our annual hospice tournament coming up week from this Saturday on the 26th. We did sell out about 2 months ago. We've actually got 160 players for the event, hundreds of sponsors.
Wow.
And we're looking this year to raise about $35,000 for Hospice of Marion County.
Wow, good for you.
So this is a real exciting event that we do every April, and we're really looking forward to it.
The folks at hospice helped me and my family really wonderfully when my dad was dying and when my mom was dying. So obviously provide a service that if you've never used them, you don't really know.
Yes,
but it's an amazing thing that they do.
It's one of the charity things that's totally 100% fulfilling.
And they're kind of like angels, so I'm guessing that there's no bad word said on the golf course when they're playing, right?
I'd hope not, anyways.
Depends on the shot.
I can't imagine any of them getting mad. All the people I met at hospice are I mean, it's like you're talking to somebody from heaven.
Absolutely.
You know? And we do have a phone call. Let's take a call. And everybody's invited to call if you'd like. Let me just repeat the number, 622-9622, the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. Good morning. You're on the air. Jimmy, you'll need your headphones to be able to hear the call.
Good morning, sir. Or lady.
Good morning. I have a question. Everybody's aware now that Tiger had surgery and has got a problem, and it's yet to be seen whether or not he'll ever come back out of his situation and be the golfer that he was. Do any of these two gentlemen can recall any big-name golfers that had serious situations that could come back or never did come back?
I think that there's been numerous injuries where the golfer did come back, and because that they didn't command the same press that Tiger does, we might not be privy to all of that. But I think it's happened numerous times. I can think of a few, but they weren't press worthy from the people who write all the stories.
Okay. Do you have a follow-up?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and that would make sense, right? Usually the famous guys are the ones we hear about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, one that we could say right off the bat that was 100 times worse than Tiger's is when Ben Hogan got ran over by a bus and for all practical purposes died. Was totally crippled.
Oh, wow.
Said he'd never walk. Not a chance.
Happened to you too, didn't it?
I had not nearly as much injury as he had, but yes.
Yeah.
But he won major event after that.
Wow.
And they said he'd never walk.
Isn't it amazing?
So his probably is the most obvious of how severe it was to come back and be competitive. Now, a lot of people have the injury and come back and play be able to play, within a reasonable amount of effectiveness. But he came back and was 100% competitive at the highest level.
But in the vein of what your normal client is over at Spruce Creek South or even at the golf college, I mean, most people are not the next Tiger Woods. Most people are just having fun. And in kind of piggybacking on the last guest was Dr. Grace, who was a psychiatrist. He was saying that activity can actually ward off some forms of dementia. So just getting out and golfing could be therapeutic in more than physical ways.
See, I'm 100% and a believer in that. If you're still positively active, and you've got the positive, the neutral, and the negative.
Yeah.
If you're positive and you're active physically and mentally, I think we'd have a lot less doctors being successful and a lot less people taking so many pills.
Just get out and do more.
After all of my problems, at one time I was on 16 pills. I'm down to 4, and one of them is an aspirin. So I went from 16
Oh, wow.
to 3, basically, as far as medication. So that could be a freak thing, I don't know, but
Well, I don't.
works.
Yeah, we could be, I suppose, but I don't know. And not to be a name dropper, but the other day we had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as a guest on the phone, and he had pretty much conquered a major disease. And I said, "Well, how do you think you did that?" He said, "By staying active." He absolutely believed just the fact that he just continued to stay active.
I've heard him on the show talk about that a lot.
Yeah. So.
And that guy has a real strong mind. He wasn't the best athlete, but he got the most out of what he did have because he was so strong mentally.
Is that right? He's 7 too.
Yep. A whole lot of people that tall can't play anything.
Could he play golf with the normal set of golf clubs, or would he need special golf clubs?
Everybody, Larry, would need personalized golf clubs. An easy way to explain personalized golf clubs, if we go get a rental car someplace, we all do the same thing. We adjust the mirrors.
Yeah.
If the seat will adjust, we adjust the seat. If the steering wheel will adjust, we adjust all that stuff, and yet we can't tell the valet where to put it. It's our instincts of where we want it. So if you are you're using a golf club where you have to make an accommodation physically by bending over or standing up, or it's too heavy or too light, you're out wasting time. You're exercising, and you will not play good golf. And that's what we do at the college. We have a complete room with about 8 or 9 meters and gauges to do a diagnostic of a golf club. And we go in the simulator and do a diagnostic of the person's swing, and those two need to match up. So I've never met anybody who can play with a standard club effectively. And yet they always blame themselves that they're the problem. That's not true. Swinging a golf club is about the same effort as walking unassisted. It can be very easy.
Huh.
And you did it pretty good. I not only spent
I had a good teacher.
I spent 10 or 15 minutes with you, and you were able to swing.
You had a way of showing us that made sense, if that makes sense. I've been shown by non-teachers who wanted to teach me, like just people who play golf, and I couldn't figure out what the heck they wanted me to do with my fingers.
That's hard.
On the grip, it was like, and you didn't even tell me to do anything with my fingers.
Well, I looked, and you seem to be holding it just fine. No one teaches you to hold a hammer.
Oh, yeah, but people do try to tell you how to put your fingers on those grips.
Oh, they tell you. I had a guy one time tell me that he wanted the inside of your cuticle to have more pressure than the outside of the cuticle on each finger. And I said, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, no. But it worked for him, apparently.
Oh, no, he was horrible.
Oh no.
He read it someplace.
Oh, no.
You don't need to. When you hold any tool, you do 5 things: strength, security, comfort, flexibility, and the ability to control movement. And you don't need any practice, and you don't need to read a book, and you don't need a teacher.
Let me just remind the listeners that you can call in if you want. The number 622-WOCA. That's the WOCA Climate Control Source Outline. Do you have any Easter golfing events happening on Sunday?
Well, we thought just to avail ourselves to the community so that they know we're not just golf nuts, is we were going to hold an afternoon where we teach the kids how to hold an egg. I'm only kidding.
I'm looking. I wasn't sure, Darren. I wasn't sure. But are you having anything for the children?
Well, we always run specials on the weekends, just to get couples in and things like that. You know, a lot of folks down in that area, the grandkids are normally, living out of state, so they're just looking for something fun to do that day. So we just run some golf specials to get some folks in.
You know, my mom and dad used to like going to a golf course near where they lived on Sundays after church. Mm-hmm. Not to play golf, just to go to the restaurant. Yeah. Do you have the same thing? Do you have a lot of people showing up Sunday mornings at the restaurant?
Absolutely. I would say that Sundays, probably year-round, Jim, are probably our single busiest day. Absolutely.
And what's the big breakfast item? The waffles?
Well,
I'll let you answer that. You're the rest of
it's definitely a non-golf question.
Ironically enough, the chef makes these homemade pastries.
Oh, really?
That the people just love, and they are awesome. They're wonderful.
So how come Jim didn't want to talk about them?
That's his domain.
Oh, it's his domain.
I try not to eat that stuff anymore, but it's awful good. We have a unique situation. We have a certified master chef, and yet he's a great cook.
Gotcha.
Sometimes
Right.
a master chef's not a great cook, and he loves making original things, and he has a strong reputation about that. We seldom have a dessert that's not something he created or made himself.
So we'll try to send some golfers down to Spruce Creek South, but we're also going to send just some hungry people on
The restaurant
on any
is doing
day. Really, you're
well.
open every day, right?
Absolutely. The restaurant is starting to create its own identity. Absolutely. I mean,
really?
it certainly is still there to support the golfers during the day so that they can get a meal after or beforehand. But we have an incredible following from outside of the community for dinner time as well.
Darren also started something just as a test case to see. We're bringing in some big-time entertainment, and a guy in
what?
particular, unbelievable.
We had a gentleman in the past 2 months. We do a comedy dinner show normally the first or second Saturday of every month.
Really?
And the gentleman that's been in the last few months, his name is Eric Olson. You can look him up on the internet, YouTube. He is a
Unbelievable.
professional comedian and magician. Performs all over the world for various cruise lines, casinos, Vegas. But been an incredible turnout with him.
And he's funny and magical.
And who's the guy we all know that's supposed to be so good?
At what?
He refers to him in his show all the time.
I do?
Who's the comedian? I mean the magician, the illusionist.
Oh, David Copperfield?
Copperfield, yes.
In my opinion, way, way better.
Is he funnier than Seinfeld? Funnier
Way,
than Seinfeld?
way better. He's the best entertainer I've ever seen.
Oh, is that right?
He's terrific, and he'll be back with us on the evening of Saturday, May the 10th. He's doing 2 shows, one at 4 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock, and comes with dinner as well.
Oh, wow.
And he does some things that are just amazing. Any magician, has a way of doing things, but he does some things that you just can't believe how.
That'd be a fun day. Go golfing and then go to a dinner theater.
It was unbelievable. We've been to 2 of them. He's been there twice, and normally that's something I don't do, but this guy is the best I've ever seen. And he's friendly and personal. He's not separated. Like some entertainers, they're up here and you're out there in the audience.
Right.
He's not that way at all.
Wow.
He's
Eric?
Eric Olson.
He's just a great guy besides a talented person.
Was he from here? Was he from?
He actually lives in the Orlando area, but he's not home much.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you both for coming in as you do. We've got 10 seconds left. Call the Spruce Creek South. What's the phone number down there?
347-6172 for tea times, or the Golf Academy.
Is 352-470-3876.
All right, thank you so much.
I give him that number.
Woo. Deadly clashes in Ukraine. A crowd of men armed with stun grenades and Molotov cocktails attacking a Black Sea military base. 3 pro-Russian militants killed. This as Secretary of State John Kerry and other diplomats meet in Geneva.
The foreign ministers from Russia and Ukraine around the same table, and the European Union's top diplomat. But each side arrived with a specific set of demands, meaning hopes of a breakthrough are slim. The US and Ukraine accuse